Hello to my opponent and judge. My name is Moe Kobayashi. I believe that prisons are effective in making society safer and that we should not abolish them. My argument is based on two main points. Prisons reduce crime and prisons prevent criminals from reoffending. First, I will respond to my opponent's points and then explain my points. My opponent's first point was the economic problem, which says it costs lots of money to maintain prison and those money are actually paid from our tax. However, you said those money were used for healthcare, food and clothing, etc. for inmates. And those things are something needed and to maintain minimum standards of living for keeping their human rights. Why do we have to cut that money and use it for healthcare instead? And what is the necessity of abolishing prison for it? There were no explanation of clear benefit to society, citizens, or economy. And coming to your second point, which was about social injustices in prison, and you said the sexual abuse by prison guards and staff is violating the human rights of inmates. First of all, there were no number or percentage that shows how many cases happened, so the probability was unclear. And also about sexual abuse by prison guards and staffs, these are just their individual act, and it's not the prison's fault, so there is no necessity of abolishing prisons. These things can be prevented in the future by Prison Rape Elimination Act, which became federally mandated effective in August 20, 2012. It supports to educate clients, train staff, provide medical and mental health interventions for victims, and so on. Also about the life after prison, again there were no number of people who actually suffered, so the probability is unclear. And furthermore, there were no explanation of how can this problem about life after prison can be solved by abolishing prison. And I think abolishing prisons will only worsen the present situation. Let me move on to my argument about why we need prisons. Prisons make society safer. The first point we should consider is crime reduction. Criminals have damaged society, and they deserve to be punished. Depriving somebody of their liberty is an effective way of doing this. It also acts as a deterrent to other offenders. Reducing reoffending by ex-prisoners, a report by the Social Exclusion Unit states, a prison sentence presents the opportunity to reduce crime, providing a deterrent and, for the period of imprisonment, incapacitating those who would commit further crime. Furthermore, prisons prevent victims' families from taking revenge. In countries with overcrowded prisons, families often take a law into their own hands or have blood debts. They take revenge on criminals by killing them. For example, this is common in Paraguay where prisons are overcrowded. When murderers or rapes are let out of the prison early or let off on charges due to overcrowding, they are often murdered by the families of their victims. Prisons is essential to keep us safe from the violent offenders and to stop the cycle of violence. My second point is that prisons prevent reoffenders. Prisons provide education and social rehabilitation programs to make people take responsibility for their actions or examine what they have done. Prisons ensure that offenders are out of circulation and that they cannot commit more crimes while they're in prison. The falling crime rate in the United States demonstrates that prison reduces crimes. That crime began to fall in 1993 after the imprisonment rates began to increase. There are many schemes in prison that tackle problems associated with reoffending, such as education, training, drug rehabilitation, and resettlement work. For example, the research done by academics at the Birmingham University concluded that prison was particularly effective in reducing property crime when targeted as serious and repeat offenders. They concluded that an increase of just 1 month on the average sentence length for burglaries would reduce burglaries in the following year by 4,800 out of an annual total of 962,700. To make society where people don't have to live with the fear and to stop the cycle of violence, I strongly believe that we should not abolish prisons. Thank you.